Hey everyone! Today we're unraveling the interesting story of Christmas and how its traditions have evolved over centuries. It's amazing to think that some of the customs we celebrate today have roots that stretch back thousands of years, even before Christmas itself existed. Imagine this: a mix of ancient Roman festivities, medieval feasts, and Victorian innovations all blending together to create the holiday we know and love. So, let's take a stroll through history and see how Christmas became what it is today. It all started long before Christmas as we know it. In ancient Rome, there was a festival called Saturnalia, held in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture. It ran from December 17th to 23rd and was one big party filled with gift-giving, feasting, games, and even a bit of role reversal. People wore casual clothes, gambled openly, and didn't shy away from a little public merriment. Sounds familiar, right? Over time, as Christianity spread, some of these Saturnalia traditions quietly slipped into the celebration of Christmas. It was like the festive spirit of Saturnalia found a new home. Fast forward to the medieval period, and Christmas had become a huge celebration, stretching over 12 full days from Christmas Eve to January 5th. It was a time when everyone, rich or poor, took a well-deserved break from their daily grind, especially since winter meant less farming to do. Homes were decorated with greenery like holly, ivy, and mistletoe, which people believed offered protection against evil spirits. And yes, mistletoe already had its romantic reputation back then. Couples kissed under it, plucking a berry for each kiss. Another centerpiece of the medieval Christmas was the Yule log, a massive tree trunk that burned in the hearth for all 12 days, keeping homes warm and festive. And of course, Christmas wasn't just about the decorations and the feasting, it was deeply rooted in celebrating the birth of Jesus. Churches went all out with special services, candles, and elaborate choirs. This was also the beginning of nativity plays, which started as simple enactments of the Christmas story, but gradually turned into full-blown performances with costumes and even live animals. Gifts were another highlight of the season, inspired by the story of the Magi bringing gold, frankincense, and myrrh to baby Jesus. In medieval times, presents could range from fine jewelry for the wealthy to bundles of firewood or wooden toys for those with less. And while it was a time of giving, serfs often found themselves gifting their lords extra bread, eggs, or even a chicken. On the flip side, some lords did give their workers winter supplies or a bit of extra clothing. And come New Year's Day, there was the tradition of first gifts, believed to bring good luck for the year ahead. Food was, unsurprisingly, a massive part of Christmas back then too. The wealthier folks went all out with lavish spreads of roast peacock, swan, or boar's head, while desserts included nuts, oranges, custards, and dried fruits. Drinks were sweet and spiced, ranging from wine to ale. Even the poor found ways to indulge with simpler, hearty meals and games like cards, dice, or board games. Public entertainment like puppet shows and pageants was often free, and performers known as mummers would travel around offering small performances for a bit of food or drink. And here's a heartwarming bit: the spirit of helping others was alive and well even in medieval times. Leftovers from grand manor feasts were shared with the poor, and occasionally, less fortunate individuals were invited to join the celebration. And now we move into the Elizabethan era, a time when the festive spirit persisted, though not without its changes. The Church's grip on celebrations had loosened somewhat by this period, thanks to the Reformation and its focus on simplicity over grandeur. Yet, even as the religious aspects were toned down, the joy and camaraderie of Christmas grew stronger in other ways. By now, the term holiday had emerged, evolving from holy days, and Christmas remained the biggest one of the year. Advent, once a solemn period of fasting, began to take on a more celebratory tone, marking the countdown to the 12 days of Christmas. Schools closed for 2 weeks, giving children time to join in the preparations and festivities. While the rich exchanged extravagant gifts like jewels and custom garments, simpler folk kept it practical with pins, gloves, and fruit. Even Queen Elizabeth I herself received ornate and elaborate gifts from her courtiers. The Christmas feast was a centerpiece of the season, and preparation for it began early. Bakers and cooks, often the unsung heroes of the household, put in extra hours to ensure everything was ready. Homes glowed with the warm light of candles and were decked in winter greens like holly and ivy. Wassail, a spiced ale served from a large communal bowl, flowed freely while friends and family joined in songs and toasts. Games added a layer of fun, with role reversal antics like crowning a king and queen of the feast based on who found hidden beans or peas in a spiced cake. The Elizabethans also began traveling more during the season, venturing out to see landmarks or attractions, despite the slow and uncomfortable carriage rides of the time. However, not everyone embraced Christmas. The Puritans, with their disdain for revelry, took drastic measures during their rule to ban the holiday altogether. Thankfully, this didn't last long. Christmas returned, more beloved than ever, by 1660. Fast forward to the Victorian era, and we see Christmas evolving into the celebration we recognize today. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert played a massive role in popularizing traditions like the Christmas tree, which Albert brought from his German homeland. Families gathered to decorate their trees with candles, small gifts, and sweets. The royal family's embrace of this tradition spread quickly, as illustrated magazines showcased their holiday preparations, inspiring others to follow suit. The Victorian Christmas had something for everyone. Carol singers filled the streets, visiting homes on Christmas Eve in exchange for hot pies or a glass of punch. Christmas cards became a staple, thanks to the advent of affordable postage, and their designs ranged from snowy scenes to intricate lace-like patterns. Shops, eager to capture the holiday spirit, adorned their windows with dazzling displays, offering mass-produced toys and gifts that could be purchased instead of handmade. The holiday feast became grander, with turkey often taking center stage. Even less fortunate families found ways to afford this seasonal indulgence through savings clubs. Alongside the bird were rich soups, spiced jellies, and, of course, the beloved Christmas pudding. This dessert, soaked in brandy and lit aflame, was a dramatic conclusion to the meal, often hiding a silver coin for one lucky diner. No Victorian Christmas would be complete without the classic traditions immortalized by writers of the time, particularly Charles Dickens. His tale of Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol painted a vivid picture of redemption and goodwill that resonated deeply with readers and became a Christmas staple. From the warmth of family gatherings to the shimmer of decorated trees and the sounds of carols filling the air, the Victorian era cemented many of the traditions we continue to cherish today. Though some details have shifted over time, electric lights replacing candles, digital cards replacing paper ones, the heart of the season remains unchanged. Christmas is a time to gather, to give, and to remember the stories and traditions that have brought us here.